And welcome to step 6, Book Bosses. Out of 7, we are creating our guided journal and we're publishing it. Now, you go through all of these steps and all of these videos the first time, and like it feels like you're wading through treacle because you're learning a new skill. But I promise you, you can whip a guided journal out in the space of an afternoon once that you have done this once or twice. You can use the same template for your book cover. You can change the color, change the words, change the title, change the elements super quick. With your guided journals, you can use ChatGPT so quickly once you've done this once or twice. It is so fast, guys. You won't believe me now going through these videos. And sometimes, you might have some teething problems as a beginner and it feels really hard and you'd never used ChatGPT before and you might never have used Canva. If that is you, I've been using ChatGPT since it came out. I've been using Canva for years and years and years. So please persevere because it is so, so worth it. You can see all these books on Amazon making incredible royalties every single month. And that absolutely can be you too. If you just keep on doing it, keep on publishing, keep on going, keep on moving forwards. Okay. One thing I wanted to say from the last video was I said to download your file as a PDF, which is correct, but I said ideally it needs to be a CMYK file, but you can use the RBG file as your color, where it says what color, what did it say now? Let me see what it said. So I've just checked that. Where was it? Here. Yeah, RGB. Anyone can use an RGB file. So you can just download it as that and that's the default. So don't worry about that. Or you can just choose this one if you just want a slightly better quality. So don't worry too much about that. As long as you've got a PDF document, you are good to go. So in this video, I'm teaching you how to create your book cover. It's exactly the same as the book cover module inside the academy. So there's lots of book cover trainings. But basically, what we need to do is see how many pages we've got in our journal. This journal isn't quite finished. It's got 88, but let's pretend it's got 110 pages. So what I'm going to do now is go over to Amazon. All you need to type is Amazon and it knows what I want to type. Amazon KDP cover calculator. Press return. I typed that into Google and it takes me here to KDP cover calculator. So I've got 110 pages and I know that it's 6 by 9 inches in size. So I want to do a paperback. I want it to be black and white. I don't want lots of printing costs. I want white paper. I want left to right reading direction, measurement units, inches, 6 by 9 trim size, page count. What did I say? 110. Then I used to get stuck on this. Press return and there it will let you click calculate dimensions. I used to think it was broken. I used to refresh the browser. I used to swear at the screen. Why is it not doing it? There we go. I've clicked it again. Calculate dimensions. And this is what your template looks like. There's something called a bleed area. And this is basically an area where they could make different cuts. They might cut it right to here and the cutting machine might cut it a little bit outside. So they have what's called a safety net, like a bleed area around the outer rim of your book. It's like a safety to make sure all of your writing and everything as part of your journal is within the white area of your template. So we've got the template size here and I'm going to write that down because we need this for Canva. So it's the width is 12.498. My pen doesn't work. That's great. It's working now. 12.498 by 9.25. And that's a very weird set of sizes, but it needs to be the exact right size for their printing machines. This is very critical and very important. So I'll show you exactly how that works. I also want to download this template and I'll show you how that works as well. So I'm going to click download template. So that you can see is now downloaded into my computer there. I'm going to open it up. PNG file. And I'm going to save it into my computer. I'll just keep it at that paperback. I don't know if you could see my screen then. You might not have been able to, but basically all I've done is just save it. Just let me stop share and make sure that I am sharing the right screen with you. But if you didn't see that then, it was just that me saving the template. And I'll show you what that looks like now. So we want to create our book cover in Canva, and you might get Book Cover Designer to do this for you, but that's money, isn't it? Ideally, we don't want to be paying somebody to design covers for us and do all the things for us if we're trying to make money. But if you have got the money to do that, then absolutely do that. Then you know you've got a great book cover, it's the right size. So if you have got the money to do that, just go on fiverr.com or 99designs.com and get somebody to create your cover for you. But if you're doing it yourself like I do, you'll go to Canva Home and then you'll go to, where's it gone? Create. There in the top left-hand corner, create. Then I want to put my sizes in. So it's already in inches. This is where people get confused. So just make sure this is in inches. And it was 12.498 by 9.25. And then I want to click on create new design. If you're using one of our templates, one of my templates, then you would just use the template to start with, do your design, and then you're gonna, it won't open the page. It's because I've got too many tabs open, guys. I'll have to take my tabs down for the next video. Right, it's opened it now. That's what it looks like. So as we know, that looks odd, doesn't it? Because our book is this size. But what it's doing is it wants the front cover and the back cover and the spine all as one piece of card, because it's going to actually wrap around your book at the printing press over in Amazon. So now we want to upload our template. Upload files. Go and find it. I think it was under P. Oh no, not Boostcamp. Book Boss. P. Here we go. This is what your template looks like. So basically, we want to write any writing for your spine. There's only some very small writing on this one where it says, Mum, I want to hear your story. And then they've got a tiny little tree logo right at the bottom, but it's the tiny writing because this is a very short book. So pull that out so it fits the whole thing. It should fit it perfectly when you're just pulling out the corners. If you are having to pull this out this way to get it to fit your square, something has gone wrong. You need to go back and check your sizes. So you should only use the corners and it should pull exactly out to fit your size. Does that make sense? And then your cover is going to be here. Can you see the cover is on the right hand side? Paperback book, cover template left to right. The front cover is here. Can you see it says there at the bottom, front cover? Then you've got the spine here in the middle. And then you've got the back cover. And you must leave that yellow area clear because that's where your barcode is going to go from Amazon, your ISBN barcode. And also you're going to leave all the red area here. You don't want to put any writing anywhere near to the red part. Now, you might think, well, that's going to get in the way. How do I create a book cover when this template is on there? So what you can do is go to here, go to transparency, and just go right down. Can you just see? So you can just see it faded. I'll just make it a bit more so you can see it on the replay. But you can have it really faded. And then what you can do is go to design, search book cover if you want to get some ideas. Let's see if there's anything in here. There usually is something. So there's usually some ideas here in the Canva templates section. You can also open up a Canva template that just says book, ebook, and you'll get a lot more book covers. If you open a template like this and you say to Canva, I want to create an ebook, and so that will give you some more ideas there. You can simply highlight it all, copy it and paste it into here. What I tend to do is I tend to go over to Amazon. Let's see, what have I got? So here's one. And I might think, oh, I really like that. I really like that design. Obviously, we're not going to do the same design, but I'll think, oh, okay, so putting something here, something here, something here, something here, some writing in the middle, that might be nice. Yeah. And we saw when we opened up the guided journal in step 2, was it step 2? No, it was step 3. We also saw it had lots of journal book covers as well. So there's lots of different ways and lots of places that you can get book cover ideas. But the main point I'm trying to make here is that it needs to be the right size wherever you get your book cover template from. So I could emulate this one if I wanted to. Let's have a look. That's a bit boring, isn't it? So if I wanted to do something like that one, I would take a screenshot of it, or I would just take a photo of it on my phone, to be honest with you. Save as, I'll just call it A, so I can find it. Then go to my Canva document and then upload. Book Boss A, I want A. Where's it gone? There. If I think, okay, I want a cover like this one. And ideally, you'll find one to emulate. You're going to do something similar and you'll find one in a different niche. So if I was creating a mindfulness journal or a mindfulness guided journal, ideally, I don't want to be looking at this cover because it's a year of mindfulness. So our journal was overthinking. So that's fine. And then my other journal is family memories. That's fine as well. But if you're creating a cover that's got the exact similar pattern and it's going to be next to another mindfulness journal, it's not going to look good. Whereas if it's in a different niche and a different topic, it's not going to look similar to the book next to it that way. But we could do round paint shapes, and we can go to photos. Got some round shapes here. I could put a blue shape up here and a blue shape down here. Magic recommendations. A red shape. So I could do that here. I could have an orange shape. There. Another orange blob. here. And so on and so forth. So you want to design your book cover. That could be a shape that goes there. And then in the middle, could be this shape. And then if I get a white box, put it on the back, move that backwards. Oh, that's okay like that, actually. I usually put my template actually at the top, at the end once I've finished, just to double check, is everything within there? And I usually will get a square and I'll just put it over the middle part. So can you see, I'm just putting it there and I'll usually colour that in, just a different colour. Like that, and then I'll get rid of the template and then I'll just check the template at the end. Basically, the rule is don't go right to the edge. Don't go right to the edge. Oh, what's happened there? Want to get rid of that. Get rid of the template. Bring this to the front. And what we could do is could play around with the shapes. You can play around with different shapes. You can search the elements, see if it's got any different ones. If you don't like them, you could put a background pattern in the background. Upload this. I could go to elements and search shapes. You can insert any shapes that you like, make sure it looks nice. Like that's nice. You could create a whole book based on that, couldn't you? Putting that in the corners all the way around and then putting your writing in the middle. Let's see. Anything else? Don't know if you can hear my dog barking. He's with my husband. Whenever the dog is barking, you know that he's with my husband. Anyway, I'd like you play around with the shapes, but basically then you want some text. I usually do each word separately like this. It's worth doing some Canva training. You can go on YouTube and find Canva videos on there and just do a bit of training on how to design in Canva. You'll get better and better at it over time. But it's just basically your elements are over here on the left in your fonts, and you can just basically click around and move them. It's very, very simple. So if I try to do a script font, something like this, cushion script, this is nice, cushion script. So I wouldn't necessarily have it black. Done it in dark blue. The Overthinking Journal. Could put your name on it if you want to. Again, make sure that you don't put your writing right at the edge. Then you could have the Overthinking Journal. Really tiny. You can open up the letter spacing. I might have that down the spine. And then a brain. Maybe I've got a logo for my brand. Maybe it's this little guy. Actually, you can't use an element on its own as a logo, so I shouldn't show you that. You have to change it. So I would have to like add this brain and then put some letters over it. You could do that if you wanted to, if you wanted a logo. You don't have to have a logo. And remember, you don't want it at the edge because it might get chopped off. It would need to be sort of here. Remember, the bleed area was around about here. So the Overthinking Journal. And then I might have some more writing. I can't remember what the subtitle was. I think it was a bit naughty, wasn't it? A guided journal. Oh. You want to ideally think about who your book is for. That helps a book to sell, especially if it's for busy mums, because there's lots of busy mums out there, but busy professionals, things like that is always a good niche. And then I might have that as 2 lines. Let's see what that looks like. And then you can play around with the fonts. Right, I'm just making this up, but you can get ChatGPT to help you with this. Fast decisions. So it would be better than this because you would ask ChatGPT. So there we go. And that's very basic, but it actually looks quite nice. So you might add your little logo on here at the bottom. That might be just a little bit bolder. Let's just try and do that a bit bolder. Like that. You might have some patterns. You might want a butterfly on there. Let's see what that looks like. It would need to be a watercolor one, probably. And then I could flip it there. And then you would do your back page. And the back page, you've got your logo. You might have your website at the bottom. We've got other training on that inside the academy. Then we've got a description of your book. Remember, people that pick up your book in the store, they want to read the description. And you know, the back pages can look very different. With our word search books, it's got the solutions at the back. You might write how to use this book or who it's for, that sort of thing. Um, but that's your back page. But just remember that you don't want to be going into this area here because there's going to be a barcode. So you can put whatever you want here about the book, keep away from the very edges, make sure it matches the front. And then I'm just going to change that to white. Oh, because I don't want a beige spine. You could have a red spine, pink spine, red, black, or just white to match the back. Whatever you want to. You can even go over it with your pattern and continue the pattern on the other side. So I'll just show you what I mean by that. So you can actually continue the pattern. Because this is going to be colour. Go position back. And then a white box. For where I want to write. So I can get rid of that here. And you might want to add your logo down in the bottom corner. Not too near to the edge. Any website details. Whatever it is. Overthinkers Club. Again, make sure you don't go where they've got the barcode. Right, just make sure it's away from that edge. Like that. You might want your Facebook, your Instagram handles here. And then you can do your about section just here. So blah, blah, blah about this book, about this book. And then that is your cover design. How beautiful is that? That's a beautiful book cover. It's very light, it's very bright. I feel already the serenity of these lovely watercolors that are very neutral, very light and bright, and we've got the butterflies as well. So I think that's a really nice book cover, even though I just designed it in the space of whatever that was, 10 or 15 minutes. In all honesty, I would spend a good hour creating a book cover, and what we want to do is download this whole file now as a JPG file. So we click on share, click on download, click JPG, quality, maybe add the size. I usually go around here in the middle, and then I click download. And can you see it downloading? So just make sure it all is okay. You've got no typing errors. Oh, what I should have showed you was just before you download your file, just double check your template. So what I'm going to do is going to go to transparency, and I've already found an error here. Can you see? So everything is okay with the edges, even the logo and the website. But what isn't okay is this bit. So it would have come back as an error. So we want to make that even smaller. So that it fits in that white part. And that's actually a very common error why a book gets returned with some errors, is the writing in the spine is too big. I think a few book bosses have had that issue. So there you go. It just fits, doesn't it, there? We've got the bleed either side, so it's going to be in the right place. Everything else looks fine with that template, and then I'm going to just delete that. And what happened with this logo is the logo was also too big, so I've made that smaller as well. And that's it. That's the back cover. You could, you know, do some other things with this and make that, like, give it a bit of an edge all the way around. Like this, and then go position backward. I'm clicking it and clicking it and clicking it just to give that back part a little frame. If you wanted to, you don't have to. That's a bit better, isn't it? Beautiful. Happy with that. Feel like I want to publish this book now. I might just do that. Right, where are we up to? So we've downloaded that file. We've now, exciting news, we're now on to the last stage, which is uploading our book and publishing it onto Amazon. Now we've got our PDF files, we've got the interior of our book, and it's stored in our computer. And now we've also got our JPG graphic, which is our front and back cover and the middle spine as well. We've got those two files ready to upload and ready to go. So I'll see you in the last lesson. And remember, I'm going to also do a bonus lesson to see what ChatGPT created when it said it was going to create me a Canva template. I'm very excited to see that, but that's not ready yet. But I'll do a bonus lesson when that's ready. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.